Greetings, mortals! Brimthen Babbles here, and today we're going to be doing a podcast. It's called Brimthen Babbles. I've got on here today with me Mcbro and Spiker. These two guys have been on the Discord for a little while now, and they have both decided to join the Minecraft SMP that we're starting up on March. They're both streamers here on Twitch, and for you YouTube guys, we'll have some of their links down in the description below. But pretty well, you can look them up via their username, and you'll find them pretty quick on Twitch otherwise. We'll start out by introducing Mcbro. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and welcome to the podcast, man. Glad you're here.
Hello, I am Mcbro. I just started streaming on Twitch about 2 weeks ago or so. I'm getting about 5 views a stream, so I'm not that big, but one thing I am very excited for is this Minecraft SMP that I've been invited to by Brimthen. I think at this point it has how many?
We're at like 18 or 19 right now. Like I'm really excited. I'm pushing for some more streamers to come on here. But I'm a little hesitant to let certain people in because I've got 2 people claiming to be under 15 that are streamers, and I'm gonna go look at their stuff and see, if they're doing all right. I got to be very careful with who I let in.
Yeah, you got to be cautious, of course. I'm just excited. It's a really good opportunity to grow. Because, everyone's viewers and stuff are all going to cross over into each other's streams. So I'm excited for that as well. Yeah. And my character. I'm excited for my character. It's a fun concept. Am I allowed to talk about that?
Yeah. You're welcome to talk about whatever. The only things you wouldn't want to talk about is stuff you wouldn't want to be public. Like if you have a secret that, you don't want to keep secrets from the other, players and me, but like maybe if you have stuff you don't want the public to know about, immediately.
Yeah. So the SMP was it's gonna be about Vikings, right? That's like the main theme is Vikings. Yep. So to being honest, I'm not that interested in Vikings, but I'm very interested in this whole story that's gonna play out. Okay with Vikings being included in that. So I didn't want to be a Viking, so I came up with this out of the box idea that I'm just going to be a time traveler that doesn't know why he's been sent back to Viking times and just, ends up becoming accustomed to Vikings and possibly becomes one. I think there's more detail than that, but I'll keep it for the story.
Yeah. And
it's exciting.
Oh yeah, and I really like your concept on it because with the whole point to the story that we're setting up right now is to have a clash of themes. The Viking stuff is only for the spawn village and everything. If somebody else wants to keep going with Vikings, that's their own thing. If they want to create their own city and whatnot, but if somebody wants to make space pirates, they can just break away from the Viking thing, maybe start an argument, start fighting, some of the Vikings and break away story-wise into their own thing, and then just go a little ways off and start Space Pirate Town where, everything's weird and looks like it's on Mars or something, I don't mind people doing some other theme somewhere else in the world and then having these clashes of stuff.
I think it'd be interesting to come up with canonical reasons why there are so many different themes or things happening within the same universe.
Yeah, see, now you're thinking like me.
Yeah. I think, because Vikings and space pirates, they're so, polar opposite, concepts. I just think it'd be really cool to, the Pixar theory, none of the movies really take place in the same universe, unless you want to believe that, which I think is cool, but the whole point of it is to come up with how they could.
Exactly. And that's the whole kind of concept that I'm going on here. But I'm letting it kind of play out on its own. I'm trying to be as hands off as I can, and just kind of see what other people go up with, and then I'm gonna wing it from there.
Yeah. I am just super excited for that. I'm so excited to have everyone develop their own stories. I think it's going to be really interesting, and I might get invested into it more than a TV show I'd watch. on TV.
And see, I'm hoping we have more people that are active like that. I know in March I'm going to be more active on it because I'm going to have more time on my hands. And I've got a few real life friends that's on there. You know, that's a good bulk of it. We've probably about 6 to 9 of them are actual real life friends. And a lot of them have said, like, you know, I don't really have time right now, but I know I will, like, in March sometime. Because a lot of, like, work and businesses are starting to pick back up after COVID. So we're, you know, once that kind of stuff kind of dies down, people are going to have more time on their hands and whatnot. So, because, like, I got a lot of my friends that are like, yeah, like, stuff's so busy right now. Like, I wish I had more time to do stuff, but, like, I know it's going to die down eventually, you know?
Right.
So there's a good group of them that probably won't be there on day one, but they'll be there, like, shortly after.
Is Spiker here yet?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. He's kind of... Well, I guess he'll be in here in a little bit.
Well, I since my character is going to be about time traveling, or a time travel, or I wanted to talk about well, I guess just time travel in general. I just like talking about it, so I just wanted to talk about it and how I think the physics of it should work on the server as well. If anyone else does do time travel.
Yeah, and that's an interesting concept just to bring up for the server. Like, if you get some other people on board with that kind of story arc, that makes it, like, even more interesting, you know?
Right, because, I mean, all these different, like, there's movies and stuff like that, like Avengers Endgame, Back to the Future, they all have their own different types of physics and rules for time travel. And so there's this university. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. I've never been able to remember the name of it whenever I'm telling this story, but so you know how in quantum physics the like particles blip in and out of existence and all that? Yes.
Well,
they are going off the hypothesis. I mean, we don't know what they're doing. We just know they're blipping in and out of existence. We just see it happen. But it's essentially they are hypothesizing that they're not just blipping in and out of existence. They're going forward, backward, sideways, whatever direction in time they're going. So by, like, observation, they've come up with a hypothetical set of rules that time travel would follow if we were able to send a human through time. And those rules are, I think the only movie that gets even close to it would be Tenet or Deja Vu.
If you've seen that. Yeah. I see where you're going with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could do that. The reverse thing, I'm not sure if that's possible. I would assume it is. But there's, like, not really any science to back it up. There might be, but I don't know it. But I think if you think of time as a fourth dimension, like, if you have a piece of paper, right, and you poke a hole through it, a, like, stick figure that lives in that two-dimensional world only sees in one dimension, which is hard to comprehend, but it's basically just an infinitely small line that he can see. He'll just see a sliver.
Yep.
But that's all he sees. But there's a whole finger through the paper, not just a sliver.
Yep.
So it's the same thing with the fourth dimension. If you could see, like, if someone poked a four-dimensional sphere through our three-dimensional world, we would just see a sphere grow or come in, like, small, grow, and then go back small and disappear. Just like how a circle would do if you were putting a circle through a two-dimensional plane.
Yeah.
It would grow, you know. So time travel, you would pretty much just disappear or shrink or whatever it would look like if you're going to go to another time. You're gonna say something?
Yeah. No, I get it. Because I've watched, videos on the dimensions. I've followed along with, like, time travel. Like, I'm the poking a hole thing reminds me of the Interstellar thing where they were explaining wormholes, sort of, in a way.
Interstellar has real life time travel physics as well.
I know that it's kind of a meme show, but they touched on it really well during it, and what's the name of it? Shoot, I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember it.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who touched on it a little bit too, but there's a very give me a second. I'm gonna Google it real fast because I remember the episode amazingly. Orville, the Orville show, and it's a goofy show. It's
Right.
more, it's Seth
It's like
MacFarlane.
The Office, Star Trek.
Yeah, but they have an episode where they go to a two-dimensional world and they show this kind of explanation of how like the dimensions work. And that episode really like touched on what you're talking about really, really well. They explained it really well.
Yeah. I just think it's super interesting. The rules, the physics of time travel that they came off of, I'll start off with my favorite part of it. So that old-fashioned like classic rule of time travel where if you go back in time and like two objects or two people that are the same person touch, it'll like explode or destroy the universe or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that is actually partly true. Because you would explode two objects that have the exact same atoms and stuff like that, like the exact same
Makeup.
like exact. If they touched, they would cause a giant, chemical reaction or whatever you want to call it. So, I guess you could take into account that whole thing of like after 7 years, all the cells in your body are regenerated. You're like a different person. So technically, if that's true, that if you could go back in time within the past 7 years, you don't want to touch yourself because it could explode. But if you go past that, you could probably hug yourself.
Huh.
But I just think that's interesting
concept.
that classic like rule of time travel actually could be true if we had a time machine. And the more of the rules are you can't like you see in movies like Back to the Future they create a whole entire alternate timeline, but that would actually be impossible because it would break the conservation of energy. You're creating a whole nother universe. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. So, real life time travel, since if you're thinking of it as a fourth dimension, you're going to move through it just like you move through space. So, there's no such thing as paradoxes in time travel that if we had it in real life.
Yeah.
Because if you go back in time, you're just going to be part of the events that already happened. Like the grandfather paradox. If you tried to go back in time and killed your grandfather before your parents were born, you probably would have known about a failed murder attempt on your grandfather before you went. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I it's all theory at the end of the day. I really like the way that I don't know what show or TV thing explained it this way, but with the grandfather theory, I've always liked the other version of this where it's a permanent loop of time where you go back, you kill your grandfather, but you still end up getting born because the way that you basically can't stop what happened because for you to you have to exist in order to go back to kill your grandfather. Right. So time kind of fixes it in a way and you still end up getting born. It just might not be the same parent. So it ends up you go back through life and go back in time and kill the same guy and it's just a permanent loop forever. You had to do it in order for it to happen,
Right. Yeah.
I'm back, by the way.
Welcome, Spiker. Hey, everybody! on the Brimthen Babbles podcast, we also have Spiker.
I'm sorry. That stuff is biting my ass.
It's okay. We've been talking about time travel and junk for like 14 minutes.
It's all good. But there is a show that actually probably goes fairly well with what you're saying. It's called Dark, and in Dark basically is that it's about this kid who has to go back and try and kill Adam, who you later find out is his future self, who's trying to stop the paradox from beginning in its own.
Is that the German one that got dubbed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched that. I love that show. That show's awesome.
Yeah, and the one thing that I see as a flaw is the paradox. It's just because you can't have a paradox collide with another world, or three worlds in a sense. The one that's supposed to happen in two alternate worlds that weren't supposed to be created.
Well, see, this is where I start arguing on that, right? So, everything's a theory, we've got math that can support it right now. It's definitely something that could be possible with technology and more advancement and that kind of thing, but there's nothing we can know at this current time is true. And, that when we get into these theories, we've got to remember, sure, we can say that there's no alternate timelines or whatever that creates because it breaks mass, like we were saying just a second ago, or conservation of energy or whatever. But at the same time, we're just talking about the fourth dimension. Fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, eighth dimension. Who says that 10th dimension beings can't just create entire realities underneath their whim? You know what I mean?
Right. That's true. I've never thought about it like that. That's a good point.
Just like, I know that it's not the same water in the cups, but for a 10th dimension being, creating a alternate reality or just creating a secondary existence might be as easy as copy paste or just pouring water into two cups. Like,
I mean, and the energy might come from somewhere. It might not even break conservation of energy. If you think about it.
Yeah, because we've got to remember, like just like we were saying, like at a fourth dimension object would just pass through. We would see just like a sliver of it. It'd be round and then it would disappear. The same thing on Onwards Up. We can't fathom what the full picture of a fourth dimension thing is. So a fifth, sixth, 10th, 8th, there's no telling. There could be energy that is in the seventh dimension that is powering the fourth dimension thing that's passing through.
Right.
What also leaves is how many dimensions are there actually exist, because we're saying there's a 10th dimension, and let's just say that 10th dimension can create other realities. Then is there an 11th dimension then that
exactly.
that's even stronger than that, like, because we're in technically a third dimension. We barely are able to go to space as a collective whole.
Exactly. So it's fun to theorize on it, but until we have concrete information, it's hard to say what it really is going to be, especially when you start that power creep. That I am heavily against power creep. I hate the concept of, well, if there's a 10th, then there should be 11th, 12th, just because then we're just getting into numbers and infinity and all of that. And that's a tangential topic we can talk about is the fact that there's multiple infinities. Like there's so many different definitions of the types of infinity. You got infinity squared, and you've got true absolute infinity, which is like infinity by affinity or whatever. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, what you were saying about math earlier, how it checks out with math. The way I've had it explained to me, is whenever when you set your GPS to go somewhere, and it tells you this time you're gonna arrive there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you drive there, but if you drive faster, that time is gonna go down. So essentially, the speed of light would be almost like 0, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And once you pass the speed of light, you'll go into negative numbers, and you could pass the time that it already is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean that whole trope of, I always thought it was kind of stupid until someone explained it to me like that, but that whole trope of, if you go faster than light, you'll go back in time. It just never made sense to me, but that whole explanation really makes it easy to understand.
Now this is just something that I'm saying. I didn't get this from a book or anywhere or theory or anything. This is just something I like this, and I've thought about this in the past, because we can't go past the speed of light. Or at least, whatever. And the idea of going past it would put us, into the negatives, like you were saying. I feel like that there's a chance that light, and the reason why it doesn't hurt us or kill us when it shines upon us, it is possibly in another dimension. It might be light itself as an energy, because like you were saying earlier, we only see just a blip of it. We see a particle of it. It's here for just a little bit of time, and it just passes through.
Well, there is a that is a really good point. Something I was just thinking about, how you were saying if it's impossible for us to go faster than light, there's still actually a way, at least from what I've thought about, that you could, and I've heard people say this, you could go faster than light without going faster than light if you are in orbit, because if you use relativity to your advantage, and you orbit around a black hole or whatever, and then you go faster than light, you're already going super fast. So when you go faster, you get what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I know, I'm getting it.
Yeah. But using relativity to your advantage, I think you could get past that speed of light without getting past it at the same time. Whether or not that would send you into the negatives, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or what that would look like from an outside perspective, no idea. But just theories.
So let's put just a pause on the time travel stuff for just a moment. So welcome to the podcast there, Spiker.
Yes.
Spiker is another one of the SMP players that's going to be on our Minecraft server. He's been hanging out on the Discord, and Spiker and his friend Exterminator has been the most consistently on the Anarchy server right now, because we're running this. Yeah, you still are. And currently we have the server set up as an Anarchy server so that everybody can get to know each other and know who they're working with. Go ahead and form groups, make sure their mics sound good, test things out, check server stability, and then in March we're deleting the Anarchy server, reseeding it, and starting the SMP. I might do a world tour or something the day before all that happens so that I can show off all the builds that did end up on the Anarchy server. But yeah, Spiker, tell us a little bit about yourself and what all's been going on your end.
Well, I stream every once in a while. I don't have a consistent stream yet just because of work and everything. But for the most part, as Brimthen said, I'm one of the more active players on the server. As of right now during this podcast, actually, I'm working on the server.
You're on there now.
I'm literally on the server right now. But I don't really do much besides work in Minecraft for the most part. I don't know if I'm pretty sure that's a bad thing for my health, but we get there when we get there.
We get there when we get there. So what all do you usually stream?
Either like some Warzone or Minecraft in particular for the most part. That's basically all I really stream. Try and stream with friends or people who are interested in streaming with me. And if, whatever happens really just happens on the stream, nothing new or exciting, or, something could happen that's exciting. Last time not last time, but about 5 years ago when I first started streaming, I got raided and everyone was telling me to delete my Systems 32 folder.
Oh, man.
So, I didn't do it because I was a smart, 14-year-old at the time, but, it was funny and all, but, overwhelming for, a 14-year-old who's streaming on a shit laptop to really handle. So it's basically whatever happens on streams is just trying to have a good time. Yeah, that's about it.
So I have set up on the stream here a picture of your current build that you guys have been working on, and they've set up like this giant farm on the Anarchy server with a really cool castle set up here. And there he is! Look at him. Give us a little wave.
Hi.
You got anything you want to show us on here so far? Little house tour.
little house tour. So all the building blocks we use is all up in here, and then also down here for extra storage. I'm trying to do some redstone. But this is a little bit of what I've got going on. And then if we go back up, I had to move my rest in peace stuff because I was like, this is really in the way of everything. So I moved our stuff back into this corner of the castle because we had nothing currently built here. So I decided, memorials and whatnot. Then upstairs is basically just a replica of the downstairs, I would say, except open. That's really it. This is all 4 sides practically. And then if we go down here, this is where Exterminator and I sleep. And down here, I just built a prison that I'm still working on.
Oh, I like this. I hadn't seen this yet. This is cool. Yeah, I like this little prison setup thing. That's cool.
This is all I've really been doing on and off for God knows how many days or a week now.
And then you guys have it's Bread's house, ain't it, over there, or is that MC Bro?
Yeah, that's Bread's house over there.
I have not made it to that area yet. I have no idea where it is.
Yeah, we're
he's still working on his.
Yeah, let's just say we are out about 20,000 blocks from spawn.
Yeah, I don't want to leak the coordinates because, it is anarchy.
That's true.
This has been my little area that I've been working on. I made a little, because I'm trying to do Norse Viking entryways and learning how to do them and stuff. And I think I've done pretty good on this little thing. I tried to make it look like a face with a beard or whatever. And then in here, I've just been starting the inside of an area that I dug out and making a little staircase thing. I still got a lot of work to do in here.
The fireplaces.
Yeah. I like how that the blue setup looks.
Yeah.
Looks menacing because my whole thing is to look menacing. So but yeah, we had a little villager trading thing here. What happened to the villager area here? All the villagers ended up dying.
So we had 2 raids. One was an 8-level raid, and the other one was a 4-level raid.
Good lord!
And it was they happened back to back, practically within 10 minutes. So we kind of lost all the villagers, and then a lot of our crops died. That I spent a few minutes or an hour refarming all this land and fixing the roads and everything.
Yep, and y'all got beacons and all that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, the way we just grind and mine for everything is that we do an hour competition of who can mine the most resources. And whoever mines the most resources wins. They don't really win anything, they just get the title of the best miner.
That's a smart idea.
Exterminator still sucks.
Oh, and then y'all have this little I want to show another one of my contributions. So you guys have this little bee farm or whatever over here, and I think it's part of a slime oh yeah, you guys you're building a slime farm or whatever. Right.
Yeah, we built a slime farm,
and I made the best contribution to all of this.
Oh yeah, the foxes.
Yeah, so I added these little foxes here, and they're named Toby, Red, Kylie, and Todd, or Toby, and I made these little foxhole areas. So whenever they come here, go chase them real quick. Let's show that happening, because I just love the concept of having these little foxholes that they run off and flee into and pop their heads out of. This is so adorable to me. They just run away and everything. And then here's the little slime farm that they've got set up over here. And, yeah.
Down here is where you get it all, and then that's where the elevator is if you take it.
And yeah, so that's their kind of setup right now that they have on the Minecraft server. I don't know where you're at, MC Bro, or I'd show what you've been doing.
I have not done anything yet. My Minecraft has been running at like 50 FPS when it usually runs at 140, and I've been trying to fix it. I have no idea why it's doing that.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that internet or the server problem we had for an entire day for me.
Oh yeah,
that was insane because like I don't know why the view distance would be a problem. You know?
Yeah, we spent all day trying to figure out what the problem was, and then we tried one thing we thought wouldn't do anything and ended up being the entire solution.
Like, I don't have any idea. I had the view distance set to 18, which is higher than the default, like 12 or whatever it was set at, and now we've got it to 10 to help out with some other people if they have the issue, I guess, you know? So I don't know. I've not ran a server since 2014. So who knows?
server running's just weird. I'm the out of my whole friend group, I'm always the one that has to set up a server. And they all get mad at me when something happens to the server and I didn't do anything. It just does it to itself. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm not making servers anymore. And ever since then, all of them have tried to make a server, and then they just give up after an hour of trying.
Yeah, that's one of the big struggles from it is like, you know, you're the reason that the problems are happening. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I just gotta fix it. Let's see what I can do.
Yeah, like it's not me, it's the server. I have nothing to do with this.
I'm just paying for it.
Exactly.
But yeah, if anybody watching this, YouTube or Twitch or whatever, feel free to go to the Discord channel and request to be on the KFX SMP and, you know, just fill out the information and see what happens. Looking for more streamers than anything else right now. But just about anybody's welcome with a decent mic.
I can't explain how excited I am for that.
Yeah. And you too. Like, if you got any friends, you know, I invite them too.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to find friends, but it's not working out for me. The life of a person who has no life.
You don't have a 83 person Discord channel that you can just be like, hey, join the thing?
Well, you see, when your average viewer is 1 and that's yourself, it's kind of hard.
Hey, don't feel bad. There for a while, it was just my mom watching.
Yeah, I got a good 10. Like, if you get some of your friends watching your stream, it Twitch, like, I think it like promotes it or something.
Yeah.
Because I had like I got some of my friends on. It was like 5 of my friends. They were watching the stream, and it ended up getting up to like 12 viewers or something. So
okay, this is gonna sound really weird, but I could go from a 0-person stream up to a 10-person stream by streaming Geometry Dash.
That's a good point. No, what you're making is a great point with streaming, because like, you know, I had like 7 people watching on that FNAF VR thing. It really comes down to, is there a lot of people watching a very popular game? No, because like, you know, FNAF VR and FNAF in general was like, you know, 2018, 2019, like it's died out. Everybody's pretty much played it, but like people are still wanting to watch people play them. It's just, there's, you know, YouTube and Twitch in general has moved away from that game. So there's a market for it if you really sit down and like go, all right, you know, I'm averaging 5 viewers and the top person watching this game has like 3 or 0 or whatever. If I start streaming this game and there's people looking for it, they'll watch you.
Yeah, that's how I've been thinking. That's the exact philosophy I've been telling other people that I'm doing. Because like I have a friend who streams as well, and he started like 2 years ago. And he gets about well, I don't know. He doesn't get a lot of viewers. He gets like 5 viewers maybe a stream, which is good. But he streams like Rocket League and Fortnite most of the time, and I feel like everybody streams that. And there's gonna be better people or people that people are gonna watch, like bigger streamers.
Yep.
Right.
So what I had been doing is I'm streaming a game called MMO. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I've watched your stream just a little bit.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know you've seen any of my streams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So MMO, there's only ever like 5 people streaming it. And the guys that speak Spanish get like 300 views watching it, or streaming it. I don't know why, but yeah. So I get a good amount of viewers for that because no one streams it, but people want to watch it. So
yeah,
it's a really good philosophy.
Yeah, Unfuncat on the Discord recommended me to like check you out.
Unfuncat?
Yeah, I think it's Unfuncat or it was Void that suggested it, but one of the people on there was watching you and saying that they were watching your stuff. Ah,
Unfuncat. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel cool.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, we just jumped up to 5 viewers. What up, everybody? How y'all doing? Xanfer's on here. Xanfer's one of the people that's going to be on the Minecraft SMP. He's been watching a lot of the podcasts and stuff too.
Ooh.
Yeah, he just came by my house. He's one of the real life friends. He just came by and picked up one of the ZDM 1 mics that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So, but busy day. Like yesterday's stream was insane. Like the FNAF VR was like absolutely popping off for me. We went from 57 followers up to like 65, and I had a consistent 5 to 7 viewers. I think I averaged 1.4, and yeah, Sakura has some good food, don't they? Oh man. Anyway, I had a constant chat, and it's one of the first few times in the streaming history where my chat was like constantly on there. And I set up this sticker thing where they can like display a sticker on the screen, and it'll play like a noise. And where I'm playing FNAF, like I would shut both doors on the left and right, and they would play like the door knock sound effect where it knocks in one ear and then knocks in the other. And that was just tripping me out because I was like, it would be like knock, knock, knock on the door. Yeah. It was so different. So I'm loving the sticker thing, and I can't wait for my affiliate to finally kick off because I'm waiting for the onboarding process to be done and them to finish verifying me as an affiliate. And then I can put my own stickers on that sticker slapper thing, set it up with bits, and then like record my own like sound effects. And then Caster Die, who apparently is watching right now. So what's up, man? Caster Die is my sticker guy. He's setting up a sticker shop for me. And the same stickers that you use in the Discord and on here on Twitch with that sticker slap thing, you can buy a physical sticker set up now through him and his sticker shop that he's setting up for me. So I'll have links to all that and everything once I get to be affiliate. And like I'm at that kind of about to crest over to where I've wanted to be for so long. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm like, I think 29 followers away from affiliate. I have every other thing qualified.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I have the followers and everything qualified. It's just the viewers I need. And
you need the average. Part. Yeah. Yeah, I struggled with the average for a little bit, but we got there in the end. I never thought I'd get 50 followers. I really genuinely didn't think I'd get 50 followers. And it finally grew, a combination of just throwing stuff against the wall until it stuck,
Yeah. It must be a great feeling.
Like, it's just like, don't just throw something to the wall and hope it sticks. And it's like, well, that's sometimes the key to growth is freaking praying for it.
Yeah, and everybody says don't be a variety streamer, but like cast your net wide. Like retro games is the way that I've been starting it out with it, because like I just ran through MS-DOS games, every game I own, and have been uploading that to YouTube. And the people that are looking for older games trickle in.
Yeah, and then they'll carry over for your other content.
Exactly.
That you do. Which is it's a really good idea.
So I still got some more retro stuff to work on. I finally got all that stuff set back up where I had to move. Because I went through a bad job loss and had to rebuild everything behind me and everything. And my retro stuff just wasn't really ready to start being recorded again. And I'm about to get back into doing that again pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm starting a YouTube channel that's going to be some stuff from Twitch. But mainly, I think I'm going to try and do Pokemon fan games.
Yeah.
Like a whole entire fan game is one video cut to show the whole game, I guess, and then like review it, I guess, or something like that. So I'm having some of my viewers vote on which game they want me to start with. And I like fan games though. I've never played any of them, but I like the concept of it. Do you know what Undertale does with its fan games? I'm not even a fan of Undertale, but they the creators of Undertale just went out and said all of the fan games are canon to an Undertale multiverse. And I just thought that was the coolest concept.
That is
a good way to incorporate.
That is different.
Yeah. So that's the way I'm just gonna think of the Pokemon fan games. It's a good way to think about it.
Yeah, all Pokemon are Pokemon. That's it. Like,
right.
They just exist. Just a different country.
Yes. I think it'd be really cool if someone made a Pokemon fan game that was literally just an exact recreation of like New York or something.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. Like a real life city.
The one thing I wish is that, like, for Pokemon fan games, or like just Pokemon in general, is that because when they first started, they were able to put, I think it was the Kanto and the Johto region together into one map, which I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's sick. I wish they, like, obviously it would have been impossible to do at the time, but now it's more possible to do, you know, actually put it all together, because I feel like, you know, to go from one to another is kind of hard to do. Like, just an entire, because, you know, you could travel the world and, you know, you're not having to load up your own save file, basically. I wish that was the same thing with Pokemon, is just that, you know, you're able to travel.
I'll tell you what I want. I want every single Pokemon game on my Switch. It's the only thing I care about. You know, fan games, making lore, making a new Pokemon game, get rid of it. I don't care. Let me have every one of my Pokemon games on my Switch. I don't care if I have to spend money on it. It's fine. I'll buy it. The money's there.
I'm still waiting for the Pokemon Platinum or Diamond and Pearl remake. And I'm waiting for, because they said that they were going to do it a long time ago when
I know
Sapphire got remade, and I was like, I want Platinum to be remade.
You know, I never.
Yeah, it took a lot of people.
I never sat down with a DS. I never got into the DSs. I stopped after Game Boy SP, and I the only two Pokemon games I really ever played was Pokemon Red and Pokemon Crystal, and they're hyper nostalgic for me. And then I find out that you can get those on the Nintendo 3DS or whatever, but you can't get it on the Switch. And I'm just sitting here like, why have we've got an NES emulator basically on the Switch. We've got almost every major NES game that you could possibly get. You can get the Family-Com if you do the Japanese, you know, messing with the store. You know, we've got the Super Nintendo now that's on there. You know, we've got a bunch of remade GameCube games. You know, we just got the remakes basically of like Mario Sunshine and all of that. So why can't we have, you know, like the Pokemon Ultimate, where it's every single Pokemon game, you know, in one folder basically, and you could just play it, whatever you want.
With Poke MMO, do you know anything about it at all?
Not too much. I've seen a little bit. I've watched gameplay, but I'm not familiar.
Let me explain this. So it uses 5 of the ROMs. You input them yourself, and so it uses 5 of the ROMs. You get to choose your starting region. You customize your character, and I think it uses the Sinnoh avatars. But you choose your character. You choose your starting region. and you get to choose the starting Pokemon. You literally play that region word for word, the exact game, but you can see everyone else around. You can fight other people. It's all balanced to be an MMO. And once you reach 4 gym badges in your starting region, you can go to the region ports and go to other regions and bring your Pokemon over. So when you go to your next region that region you have not been to, it puts all your Pokemon in your PC, and then you go and you start that region. And then once you reach, you can go back and talk to your mom to go back to your starting region if you don't want to reach the region port. But if you do reach the region port, you can go to another region. It'll put your Pokemon on your PC. But if you go back to a region you've already been, you can keep your Pokemon, carry them over, and play with your other region's Pokemon, which is the coolest thing. And it's got like a player market and stuff. It's pretty much a black market for Pokemon and items. You can buy XP shares and all that.
That's super cool. That's genuinely cool.
Yeah, there's Pokemon. The one thing, since it's an MMO, once you beat all of the game, I don't know if this is true. This is just what I've heard. Once you beat all of the regions, the final battle is of PokeMMO, not the last region you do. So after you defeat all the regions, there's one final battle, and it's a giant matchmaking tournament of other people.
Oh, that is super cool.
Yeah. It's the coolest thing ever.
I
really like it. I'm addicted to it. I love it.
Dang. That's like well thought out as far as like a concept
goes. And all
goes.
the GUI, like Sinnoh and Unova, have different. They're from the DS, so they don't have a bottom screen. All of the GUI is consistent across all of the regions you play.
Oh.
So you use your mouse and keyboard to operate everything, and it's got its own GUI, so it doesn't use the Pokemon GUI. I guess there are themes like texture packs you can download, things like that. And there's also little mods to get different gym sprites and all of that. You can make your Pokemon follow you to show them off to other people. The way legendaries work, there is only one legendary in each region, and only one person can have that legendary. If they log off for too long, that legendary will be released into the wild. If they're online and they catch their legendary, it forces you to accept any duel, and if anyone wins that duel, they get to keep the legendary, and so on.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And
that's basically the whole thing.
And I've got to say this because like it bugs me. This is something that Nintendo could have came up with. Like
right.
Like I hate their like company policy of we made the game for this console. That is all we're doing with it. It's over. New game, new console. And just abandoning stuff. They abandon their IPs so hard.
And Pokemon Sword and Shield, they so all the other. Oh, by the way, I might want to point this out. I have literally never played a real Pokemon game. I only started playing Pokemon until last year, whenever I was introduced to PokeMMO.
Dang.
Yeah, and technically, it is the real Pokemon games. It's just an MMO form, and I'm told that they're harder than the originals. So I feel pretty good about myself. But yeah,
like I said, I played Red, I played Crystal, and I've played Sword. I beat Sword. I plan on playing them again and going through them again. And I have like Sword and Shield's like DLC stuff that came out. I just have not sat down and played it. Since I beat Sword, I haven't touched Sword. And I want to go back to it. It's just I've been busy with like Twitch and getting set up with stuff. And what up, big boy Jack? Welcome back, man. Welcome back. And I really like the Pokemon games. I've always liked the Pokemon games. It's just they're a lot to sit down and work with.
Yeah. With Sword and Shield, the old games, they like you have a rival in like every game, I think, and your rival's Pokemon would be basically the opposite, like the type that you are weak against. But in the new ones, they're making it easier for kids, so you're the one that's stronger against the rival. So it's not much of a challenge.
I gotcha. So Spiker, what was your favorite Pokemon?
Okay. My favorite... Okay, so I'm going to go off of just regular Pokemon and then legendary, because that obviously they're two different areas, and I have two different favorites.
Of course.
So my favorite, just generic Pokemon that anyone could have, is Infernape. That was my favorite Pokemon, and honestly, the one Pokemon that's like on-made Pokemon for me. That was the one. And then for legendaries, everyone's favorite is like Mewtwo or something like that. My favorite was actually either it was always a toss-up between Giratina and Zoroark. I just had that toss-up where it was just, when I was younger, it was always Giratina because it was a sick-ass Pokemon.
Yeah.
But then my favorite was kind of the lore between Zora, where it could just like shape shift into anyone or almost any person or Pokemon, So that's where I kind of have two favorites.
Thanks for the follow here, Colds. Welcome to the community here.
Oh, I know him.
What about you, MC Bro? What was your favorite Pokemon?
So far, so my starting region, since Pokemon MMO is pretty much the only Pokemon I've played, I only have those 4 games in there to go off of, but I started off in Unova, which was my first, which I've heard most people say they don't like Unova, and that it's more like a tutorial, but the fact that it was more like a tutorial the whole game was good, because that was my first time playing Pokemon. So that one has a place in my heart, but I think I'm really liking Kanto right now. Emerald, I think, or Pokemon Red and Blue. Which one is that?
Pokemon Red and
Kanto.
Blue.
That's the original. No, Johto. Johto is the first one.
Yeah, but I'm having fun with that one right now. That's the one I'm playing through at the moment. And I think Sinnoh's second place on that list.
I got you.
Okay, so you went by region. Got it.
So
yeah.
All right.
That's the only way I know them.
For me, and like I said earlier, the only games I've played has been Red, Crystal, and Sword. So like first generation, second generation, and then like the newest generation of Pokemon. Now,
which I think is like the 9th generation.
Yeah, something like that. I'm very unfamiliar with like a lot of Pokemon in between those generations. But I have one definitive, regardless of legendary, regardless of everything. My favorite Pokemon, period, is Blastoise. And it always will be, because I grew up with that. That was my starter. It has such a nostalgic feel to me running around with Blastoise. And just the simple idea of a turtle tank with, these giant water jets just on his back is just insane. But the second Pokemon I will always love and is my favorite is Easy, because I have a plushie that is the size of my head dedicated to my boy Haunter. He fits the color of my channel. He's spooky. He got a big old tongue, and I will never evolve him to Gengar, because the Gengar is an ugly Pokemon. And I love my Haunter. I do. I love my Haunter, and I'll always love my Haunter.
I never understand how. I mean, I guess over time, but I never understand how people end up knowing the names of every single Pokemon just by seeing it and all that.
Yeah, there's
everyone knows exactly everything and all that.
Yeah, there's this one guy who was like, all right, well, my wife is going to test me on all the names of the Pokemon. And next thing you know, he blindfolds himself, and the wife says, all right, we're going to go down the list for all 800 or 900 Pokemon. All right? I was like, okay, so he starts off with the first one and then goes all the way down to the last one and knows every single one. I'm like, dude, I was with you until 205. I can't keep up.
Yeah, I wish I knew every Pokemon, and I guess eventually I will. But yeah.
Yeah, the way that I was able to remember all of the Pokemon that I know is because I watched the I call it an anime, everybody's going to call it a cartoon, whatever. For me, if it's got really high quality, animation and it's, voice acted and everything, it's an anime in my opinion. But I watched the anime for the most part, and grew up with that. And then I grew up with the games, so playing, catching, and watching them on my show just like is that memorization association,
Mm-hmm.
So I just ended up remembering all of first and second gen, basically. Didn't really like second gen Pokemon. I had a problem with Pokemon. There was 151 or whatever, 152.
Yeah, 151.
That was it for me. 152 if you count Mew, because they count it 151 as Mewtwo, and then Mew is 150, whatever. Anyway.
Wait, really? Wait.
Yeah. For me, that was all of the Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And I, even as a child, when I was watching this unfold on TV with their like second generation of stuff, I was pissed that there was more Pokemon. And I've always been pissed since there was more Pokemon. But Ferret won me over. No one will break his stride, that is for sure. But I grew to accept it and love it. But for me, there's only 152 Pokemon, so I'm very much stuck in the first generation.
Which generation? Oh, first, you just answered the question, and I was about to ask. All right.
Okay, so hold on, because this was bothering me that you said there's 152. That I legitimately Googled this right now. Is how many Pokemon are in Generation 1, and according to Wikipedia and all other sources that are on my first page of Google, because no one looks at the second page, there's 151.
Okay, so and the Pokédex says 151. The anime, the movie, and everything says there's 151. Mew is not considered part of Professor Oak's Pokédex. So he's 152, and they say that there's only 151. That's the thing.
Mew's number in the National Pokédex is 151. And
okay, so 150, and then I'm just backing up everything I'm saying to 150 and 151 then.
Yeah. Yes.
Chikorita's 152. All right, fair.
Yeah.
All of my argument still stands. I was just -1 to all past conversations.
No, it's good. It was just sorry. It was just bothering me a little. And I was like, I need to make sure that this is correct now.
Oh, I'm sure there's other people that was like watching this eventually in the future of YouTube and is going, "No, Mew is 151, you moron."
What's that one ghost? It's not a ghost type. It's a little glitch.
Missingno.
Missingno.
Yeah. Missingno.
So is there 153?
No, Missingno's not a Pokemon. It was a glitch.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, everyone gave it the Missingno number 0 basically before the Pokédex was created, because you can't say, "Oh, it's 152," because if you look 152 Chikorita, so they're like, okay, well, what's not on the Pokédex? Because obviously they're adding more after Generation 2 and Generation 3. They're just probably gonna have more, so they just gave Missingno the ID of 0, even though it's not official by any Pokemon creator. It's just the community gave Missingno its own number, which was 0.
Because, and the reason why they gave it its own number 0 is because every single Pokemon game that there has been a Missingno. Because it's part of how they script the game. They have to create an error Pokemon in order to prevent overflow. So if a digit or integer inside the code goes wrong, it's supposed to show up missing number for testing purposes. Now, once they're done testing in future ones, you just get a blank Pokemon, a no Pokemon. The sprite doesn't get messed up like in Red and Blue. Red and Blue's Missingno was created because when it's reading the graphics and getting the numbers for the graphics IDs, it pulls random numbers and it makes this jargoned mess of it's like 32 different Pokemon's pixels and all put into one. In future games, they fixed this issue because it became popular and they found out about it. by making it just a blank image or bringing up just a standard Pokemon. Whatever game it is, Bulbasaur's number 1, right? So whatever the first Pokemon on the list is, it just round robins over to it and displays one of those. Now, Missingno in Red and Blue is very particularly special itself because you can catch it. And I have caught my Nidoking because that's what it turns into. There is a chance, though, that it doesn't turn into a Nidoking. And if it doesn't, you get to keep the sprite image, but it's reversed and put into your Pokemon slot. So that there is a chance that you don't get a Nidoking. It's based on like the serial number of the cartridge and like a whole bunch of other reasons. But when I was growing up with my atomic purple Game Boy Color, I was able to catch my Missingno on Pokemon Red and got the Missingno sprite. But on Blue, I got Nidoking.
I wonder if it's possible. Do you think it would be possible to get Missingno in Pokemon MMO?
I'm sure there is one, because like if it's using the original, ROMs and stuff, it should. I know that ROM and emulated Pokemons have a harder time catching Missingno.
Mm-hmm.
And
that would make sense.
Y'all talk for just a second because I'm going to listen to something real fast.
All right. But I think it's possible to actually catch the Missingno. And one thing I actually found out not too long ago was that Missingno actually had 5 different sprites. It was the ghost that was like that you would see when you're climbing up the tower. The other one was Cubone's mother. One was a skeleton bone Aerodactyl. And then it was the 2 versions of the glitched Missingno character, which is the ones that everyone knows about. But there was actually 5 different variants that you could have ran into. It was just you're more likely to run into one of the first 2 because it's just grabbing what it can at the time. It was very rare for the other 4 or even 3 to 4 to actually appear.
Mm-hmm.
So unless what the person was saying was complete bull, there was I doubt it was bull because they also showed like the video of them using a Game Boy and it actually running into one of the 5 other sprites. But it's very likely that it could have been, a little BS, and the person was just trying to do it to
Polo.
Hello.
Polo.
Now I'm just stacking stuffed animals on my mic.
You look like you're having fun.
Hold on. Oh my god.
He's got a spike crab on his head from TF2 now.
Yeah, I only have 2 plushies. I have a Ninetales and a Zora. Pokemon plushie.
I don't know if I've told you this before, and I know y'all have watched some stuff of mine, but like I have memory issues. I've got long-term and short-term issues with remembering things. So one of the things that I do is buy something as a memento so that I can remember it in the future. So, like if I get in really hardcore into an anime and I know that I love it, I'll buy a figurine or I'll buy like some sort of object so that I can like hold on to it. And then if I go, what was that anime about? Because I'll be in a conversation with people, and usually people associate this with lying. They'll be like, oh yeah, I've totally watched that anime. I know a lot about it. But then like they can't really regurgitate those information. Happens to me all the time. And I'm sitting around going, I know I've actually watched it. I just need to like go home and get the figurine to remind me of the stuff that was going on it. So usually they have to like start talking about whatever the subject is. And then my brain starts to go, oh yeah, no, I know all about that. Here we go. And then we're into the conversation. So I like to call it a wind-up engine, like you would a car. You got to go out into the front of my brain and like put the little pole in it and give it a little, and then like it'll start up, and then we can talk.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
But if there's ever a time where it's like, I say, yeah, I've totally done that, and I have. I might not be able to remember.
Well.
Shit, I was gonna say something and I forgot.
Was that the hour mark you were talking about? Did we just like hit it on the dot?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's funny.
My Dungeons and Dragons pupper that TMA wanted me to show. So, the little Dungeons and Dragons pupper from our Curse of Strahd campaign. He lets me remember about Lancelot.
Alright, so actually I have a question for you. Is that, so if you like something, you have to like go buy something that actually helps remind you of that certain thing, right?
Not all the time, but if I don't, it can cause issues down the line where I can't recall back to it without someone else's help.
Gotcha. So basically it's like if you don't have it, then you need someone to like be like, remember this, remember that, remember this, remember that kind of thing.
I literally need South Park member berries to be like, remember when there were corded phones? Yeah, like, I need help sometimes with my memory, and it is what it is, you know? And it's rarer. This is a much rarer thing where I have false memories. It usually pertains to hobbies or something that I was very heavily into. And TMA got a really heavy dose of this because, so I used to be a judge for Magic the Gathering. I think it was level 2, and I judged for a card shop in Kentucky for quite a little while. And I had a lot of information about Magic, but then I stopped playing Magic for like 5-6 years, somewhere right in there, and I ended up back down in Georgia, and I met some people that played, and I got back into it, and I really struggled picking the game back up because I had these false memories of, like, you know, the biggest one was like protection and you know, indestructibility and like just crazy stuff that was like nuances that you don't usually come up in normal game. And I had these like false memories of they're supposed to go a certain way. So we would get these little arguments about like what was supposed to happen. And, you know, it took me a little while to realize I was having these false memories and, you know, Google searches to double check things. And then I started going, oh man, like I have completely jumbled up rules of this game. And I just need to step back.
Guessing the arguments were pretty intensive then.
Oh yeah, TMA even in the comments right now going, oh god, the arguments. Like, yeah, no, it's legit because because I took pride in being a judge. I taught so many new players how to play the game, you know, and I really did know the rules back then. I had no issues, you know, I knew the answers to the things I was arguing back then, but when I was arguing them more recently, I had issues. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I had to kind of step back and relearn the game and re-understand stuff. And I still struggle with some of them because there's some weird stuff that comes up with Magic, especially when they've changed rules since the time period that I was playing.
Right.
So, yeah, I know. I wasn't entirely incorrect on all of them, though. There were some of them I was right about. I'm going to say that. TMA's in like the chat ready to be like, I told you so. Brimthen's 0% right. Here we go. I'm gonna start arguing with TMA now.
Invite him in the call and just have this argument.
Just bring him on the podcast. But no, you know, I struggle with memory issues and keeping memento around of those times. And like that's why I like doing these things, is like people bring up subjects that I haven't talked about in a long time, and that regurgitates my memory and lets me kind of like have a conversation about something that I ain't thought about in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So And that's why I'm playing my nostalgia games, going through my retro games, playing them over again. A great example on that is I started playing these MS-DOS aquarium museum game, and it made me remember of a dinosaur 3D adventure game where you put like 3D glasses on, and it was this another MS-DOS game. And playing both of those reminded me of Sim Safari, and I've been playing through these games and remembering other games that I've played and just kind of reliving my childhood, which is the whole theme of my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really, really happy with how everything's been going on it. So if y'all don't have anything else y'all want to talk about, we can wrap it up. Unless y'all have some other topics.
I have nothing.
I have nothing either.
That hour mark, really, you were predicting that really good.
Yeah, I've noticed with everybody that I've brought on the podcast, at about an hour mark, they kind of run out of topics. I mean, I could sit here and just start bringing up topics, but like at that point, we're just like padding time. I will bring up one other topic because it was something that was brought up in my Discord, and people have requested that I ask everybody it. Are you guys into anime?
Yeah. Well,
Kinda.
I just started. Like a few months ago, my friend Ethan got me into it. And I'm only watching one right now, and then I'm moving on. I've got like a list that I'm going on.
Yeah.
And I've started with Sword Art Online, and I'm moving to Dr. Stone, then Hunter x Hunter, and then Attack on Titan, and then there's another one. I'm almost done with Sword Art Online. I'm excited to move to Dr. Stone.
Gotcha.
But yeah, because I always had this like preconceived notion that all anime was just really weird. Maybe because weebs exist. I just didn't, like I was one of those people that like, oh, you like anime? You must be weird. Why are you? Hold on, I'll be right back.
Well, that's a great segue into Spiker telling me what his favorite animes are.
So I got into anime around like 7th or 8th grade with a friend, and I was kind of on and off of anime because there's a few shows I liked, and then some I was just like, it's just kind of not my cup of tea in anime and whatnot. And then I kind of stopped watching for a few years, and then my friends were like, oh, have you seen this anime, this anime, this anime? I was like, I haven't even heard of this. Like, how many seasons has it been running on? And they're like 2 or 3 seasons. I'm like, I've really been out of touch with anime for that long. So then recently I just got into The God of High School, and then I think it's Mob 100 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I watched that. So I watched those, and now I'm just kind of figuring out what else to watch.
Well, I am definitely one of the weebs that MC Bro brought up. I've always been into anime. I pretty much started watching anime when Death Note was first airing. So for a while, and I'll tell you right now, I definitely disagree with TMA right now in the chat. Like, I am not going to tell anybody that their anime is trash tier. Like, enjoy what you watch. Like, fans are fans of it for a reason. Like, I'm never gonna say don't watch something, because like everybody likes different stuffs, each to their own. But I hate Dragon Ball Z.
I've never watched Dragon Ball Z. It kind of it seems like it'd be boring.
Well, my problem is power creep. I like humanity in my characters and whatnot. Like,
yeah, I guess what you mean.
I liked Death Note, and the reason why I started watching Death Note was because it was just a college student with a magic notebook and, like, just a gun. That's all you need. That's it. We're good.
Like a magic notebook and a gun, you're set.
Well, no, I'm saying like his weakness is a gun. What's Kira on Death Note's weakness? You found him, you figured out who he was, bang. It's easy. But, my top animes and the ones that I would suggest for anybody to watch is definitely Roka, Braves of the Seven Deadly Flowers, or whatever it's called. It's so good. And I've watched Monster. I like Monster too, TMA. But Rokka, Rokka, is a hidden gem that has only one season and really, really, really need it to have more. But like how the anime business works, if you don't got a popular name, you don't got funding. So, Rokka. But for those of you that don't want to put it on your list, there's a movie on Amazon Video called Redline. It's a movie. Pay the $9 and watch it. It is a hand-drawn, like 340 something thousand image that was hand-drawn. They went in and digitally corrected afterwards to make it look even nicer. It is a love project by that studio that purely wanted to make an anime movie that was as beautiful as possible, and it's about racing. How they handle the injection and fuel going through the vehicles, and like how they handle speed and momentum is just completely different from anything I've ever watched. And I highly suggest anybody to watch Redline. That should be on everybody's lists. We need to pump up their sales. Like it's the best. There's nothing better than Redline out there, in my opinion. I've watched it 400 times probably by now. I've shown it to everybody I can, and I tell it to everybody I can.
What was there was another, like, it won some, I guess there's a lot of movies that won awards.
Oh yeah.
It was an anime. I've never seen it. I don't remember what it was, but it's been suggested to me so many times. I cannot remember. Okay, just name how many anime movies have won like awards?
Oh man, a bunch.
Hold on, let me Google.
Okay, Google. What's the top 3 best anime movies?
Here are some details.
Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke,
Spirited Away.
My Neighbor
Spirited
Totoro.
Away. Spirited Away. That's the one.
Anything by Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Spirited Away is easily a top movie to watch as well. Like anything by Studio Ghibli, Ponyo, yeah, Akira. Like, I mean, I this October did a thing where I went on Amazon Video, and every day of October I bought a Studio Ghibli or some other company around in that same kind of style, and I watched as many as I could every day that I could in October. Howl's Moving Castle, like, I love it. I love all of those things. I'm a sucker for it in a heartbeat. But no, Redline. Screw Studio Ghibli. Redline.
How many frames per second is it? How many frames per, like, if it's hand drawn, they have to draw every frame.
Every frame.
How many? Yeah.
It was like
frames per second.
I don't know what the frames per second is. It's probably 12, like the standard movies usually do.
Right.
But it is like 300 or 200 something thousand. It's hundreds of thousands of hand drawn images that they did for it in a time where they didn't have to do that.
Mhm.
So, highly suggest Redline. Go to Amazon, go buy it, watch it, like, today.
Have you seen the fan-made SpongeBob anime?
I don't know, but I've seen Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine.
Yeah, there's all those too. Yeah, but these guys are making like a legit. There's 2 episodes out right now, I think. A legit fan-made SpongeBob anime that takes place in a different universe. Is
it making fun of it, or is it being serious to like the SpongeBob style?
It is like making fun of anime or making fun of SpongeBob.
Either or both, because like
I don't think so. I think they're actually trying.
Because if they're actually trying, I'm down. I'm interested in watching it.
When I watch it, they have an English dub and the Japanese. But to me, it doesn't seem like at all that it's making fun of it. It seems legit.
Yeah, because
they could be, but I don't know.
because I really don't enjoy stuff that's like SpongeBob versus Shaggy in the epic anime battle.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So this one actually has like a story and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if it's trying to stick to like the normal SpongeBob style thing, and it's not like, trying to make fun of SpongeBob, then I'm probably interested in watching it because I'd like to see that kind of style brought to like a SpongeBob style.
Mm. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, if y'all don't have anything else, tell everybody where to find you and a little bit about what you do here for a closing, and we'll wrap it up.
Right.
Whichever one of y'all want to go first.
Spiker, you go first.
Oh, fudge. Okay. You can find me over at twitch.tv/spiker_360. I stream randomly. I don't have a set stream schedule. I try, but work doesn't let me. But yeah, that's practically it. I'm not really active anywhere else.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Mcbro54321. And I try to stream. I try to be consistent. I try to stream every single night. But it's usually around 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. Central Time. I try to stream in the day when I can as well. But as you said, work gets in the way, so I stay as consistent as I can.
Awesome. And you guys will be able to watch them playing our Minecraft SMP sometime in March. They'll be streaming that. Because we've got that set up, and we're going to be got a whole bunch of people ready to stream on that server. And you, the viewer, are welcome to come on Brimthen Babbles if you've got a good microphone and you want to sit down and talk with us. Anybody's pretty much welcome. Just go to the Discord and you can request to be on our KFX SMP, or you can request to be on our Brimthen Babbles stuff. Check us out on TikTok and just get involved on the Discord community. I just got affiliate and I'm excited to go further with this journey that we're on here. I want to thank Spiker and MC Bro for being here on the podcast. You guys were great. This was a great podcast. Good conversations from time travel to Pokemon. Like, awesome.
Loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. And I'm sorry that I was gone for like the first 14 minutes, but it's all good.
It's all right. So yeah, y'all stay on the Discord call for just a second. We got some stuff we'll talk about in private, but I'll run the outro. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more.